That Movie Nut here with a review for the 1996 horror sci-fi movie The Island of Dr. Moreau, starring Marlon Brando, Kilmer, David Thewlis, and Ron Perlman. Based off the H.G. Wells book of the same name, the story in a nutshell is a man gets washed up on a remote island somewhere in the Pacific or the Atlantic, I don't remember where, but anyway, he gets washed up on an island which is inhabited by human-animal hybrids, created by an exiled scientist called Dr. Moreau, who is trying to find the flaw in humans. Now, you'd think with people like Marlon Brando and Kilmer in the cast, and the fact that the movie is directed by veteran John Frankenheimer, you'd think that this would be a pretty good flick. Not so. Instead, what we get is a convoluted mess of a film that really, in all honesty, fails to do any justice to the great novel if it was based on. First problem is the casting. Now, I'm the last person on the planet to question Marlon Brando. I mean, let's face it, the guy's a terrific actor, but you know, the part of a bald, mad scientist just doesn't fit him. Add to that, you know, he's what, £1 million overweight, you know, and to be honest, half the time I'm watching him on screen, I'm laughing at him. Not to be cruel, but you know, if you look at this guy for long enough, you're just gonna think to yourself, how the hell is this guy even supposed to be scary? I mean, Moreau is supposed to be a mysterious individual with big ideals, but he's completely crazy. Here, the only thing that's crazy about him is his dieting style. Everyone else, people like Kilmer, Ron Perlman, David Thewlis, they all do a serviceable job, but really nothing too memorable. In fact, Thewlis is another problem with the movie, seeing as, well, he's the guy who gets washed up on the island. He's a UN diplomat, I believe. I'm gonna be honest, dude's really annoying. I swear, half the time you're watching him, you just want to reach into the screen and punch his face. He is just, like, you thought Katie Holmes in Batman Begins was self-righteous. This guy might as well be his own church. I mean, he doesn't go 5 seconds in the movie without making some whiny bitch comment or trying to say, Moreau, you're doing some seriously wrong stuff. Like, yeah, dude, we can see he's doing some seriously screwed up stuff. You don't need to tell it to us like we're idiots. Now, to be honest, the few decent things about this, well, how can I put it, movie, is the makeup. The makeup on the animal people, the animal hybrids, is pretty darn good. And to be honest, the jungle cinematography is cool as well, but I'm not gonna lie, let's be honest, designs can't save a movie, and alas, the big flaw here is the ending half of the movie. Now, major spoiler ahead. When Moreau dies, as many probably have already guessed, the island falls into chaos. Now, in most good movies, in disaster movies like, say, Earthquake, or even in other horror movies, what tends to happen is that there's chaos, alright, it's screwed up, there's tons of action, you know, tons of stuff going on, but it guides us, it makes us feel like we can see it, but we're basically finding out a step at a time. The problem with the ending half of Dr. Moreau is that none of that happens. It just goes chaotic and you can't follow it. Half the time you feel like you're just being dragged through the ending half of the story, like they didn't have time to properly develop the script, and instead what we get is just a patchwork of explosions and unnecessary deaths, which really don't, you know, when a character dies in a movie, you either want them to die or you feel sorry for them. Here, none of that happens. When a character dies, you just don't care. And let's face it, that's not the mark of a good movie. When characters die, you don't feel for them, whether it's in a good or a bad way. Here, they're just cardboard cutouts that you couldn't care less about. And add to that, the ending doesn't improve things much. Not to give it away, but, you know, the moral of the story basically is we, in society, in today's society, we're little better than these savage animals out there in the jungles. The problem is that the movie, the way it was written and set up and everything, it just, the moral comes off as just preachy. It doesn't, like, it's not like something in, say, like Rain Man or something, where we really think about, you know, wow, this is something that's happening in our world and we need to think about this. You know, here it just feels preachy. It's like an annoying school teacher who keeps telling you not to pick your nose or something. It really does get on your nerves. And so, in conclusion, using my rating system, Island of Dr. Moreau officially gets the plastic star. It's a weak movie that fails to do any justice to the great and powerful novel it was based on, and quite honestly is not worth your hard-earned cash, not even as a rental. Personally, I say buy the other two adaptations, which is 1933's Island of Lost Souls starring Charles Laughton, or the 1977 version starring Burt Lancaster.